A leaked audio recording from the Oak Island swamp has surfaced, capturing what sounds like a large, metallic impact deep underground, and insiders say production halted immediately. It is Friday, January 23, 2026, and the Oak Island community is currently in a state of frenzy. We are in the middle of Season 13, and while the television episodes show methodical progress at Lot 8, the real story is happening behind the scenes. Rick and Marty Lagina have chased the ghost of a treasure for over a decade. But the narrative shifted recently. An anonymous user, verified as a crew member, dropped a claim on a private treasure hunting forum that contradicts what we see on screen. According to this source, the heavy drilling operation in the season premiere hit something that rang like a bell instead of wood cribbing. Understanding the timeline is key here because filming for Season 13 wrapped late last year. The Laginas and their team already know how this ends. The silence from the island usually feels standard during the winter off-season, but this year, the silence feels heavier. Social media reports describe unusual activity continuing on the island past the typical November shutdown date. Locals in Mahone Bay saw private security contractors stationed at the causeway throughout December 2025, rather than the usual gate guards. You hire 24-hour specialized security to guard what came out of a hole, rather than the mud inside it. This brings us to the recent leak suggesting the curse was not a supernatural warning, but a psychological barrier designed to keep amateurs away, while the real vault lay hidden in plain sight. Consider the specific claim regarding the garden shaft. A blurry image circulated on Discord servers on January 15th, purportedly showing a new density scan from muon tomography data collected in late 2025. The image highlighted a rectangular anomaly sitting at a depth of roughly 110 feet, which is far shallower than the deep money pit targets. This matches the audio leak of a metallic clank perfectly. Hitting a structure at that depth explains why the large caissons were suddenly redeployed to the western side of the shaft in the recent episode. Rick Lagina follows the data, and this time the data seems to have screamed at them. The anomaly is dense and possesses right angles, which nature does not build. The leaking crew member stated that Marty Lagina made urgent calls to the provincial government of Nova Scotia immediately after the drill bit made contact. The work on Lot 8 has quietly produced a major historical find, while the garden shaft grabs headlines. We watched Gary Drayton unearth a simple iron fastener in the episode Bolder and Wiser. But new metallurgical reports indicate the iron composition contains trace elements consistent with Portuguese forging techniques from the mid-16th century. This item is a fingerprint rather than another rusty nail, because it connects directly to the theory that the Knights of Malta used this lot as a military encampment. The presence of such specific metallurgy implies long-term habitation rather than a quick mission. If they were here long enough to build structures on Lot 8, the treasure is likely a stored archive or a bank rather than a single chest. Hit subscribe and the notification bell if you find this breakdown of the leaks interesting, because we cover breaking Oak Island updates every week. Now, we return to the swamp. The triangular swamp has been a frustrating puzzle piece for years, but the leak regarding a container found near the stone roadway changes the physics of the hunt. We know they drained the swamp again in late 2025. The insider claims the excavator bucket scraped against a composite material near the eye of the swamp, which resembles a clay-like sealant used to waterproof cargo in the 1700s. The showrunners have teased man-made structures before, but this is described as a sealed vessel. The rumor states that water tests spiked for silver concentration when they cracked the seal. This aligns with the upcoming episode preview mentioning a silver lining. They are not being poetic because they found silver in the water, sitting inside a breached vault. The trip to Portugal, involving Marty and Alex Lagina, seen in the Season 13 trailer, represents more than a vacation. The leak suggests they found a direct match for the stone markers on Oak Island in a convent in Tomar. This is not a vague resemblance, because the geometry of Nolan's cross matches the layout of a specific Templar window frame. This confirmation arrived in the production office in late December, just as the team on the island hit the anomaly in the garden shaft. It provided the map location they had been missing. The theory suggests the cross was a scale map, where the center point is the garden shaft rather than the money pit. This realization likely triggered the frantic night digging reported by locals. The story becomes legal and complex at this point. The Department of Communities, Culture and Heritage in Nova Scotia has strictly monitored the Laginas for years. The rumors of a stop work order in December 2025 point to the Archaeological Objects Protection Act, rather than safety concerns. You only trigger that act if you find something that alters history, like human remains or religious artifacts. A simple chest of gold coins does not shut down a film set for weeks, but an Ark of the Covenant or ancient manuscripts would. The leak specifically mentions that government officials arrived via helicopter on December 12th. This aligns with the sudden silence from the cast on social media around Christmas, because legal orders likely gagged them. Everyone waits for the seventh death, because the legend says 7 must die before the treasure is found. A new interpretation, circulating among the research team, suggests we have read the prophecy wrong? The translation from the original French cryptic journals suggests the phrase means 7 must cease. This could refer to the 7 barriers, or 7 seals, protecting the vault. The leak claims that Rick Lagina addresses this in the Season 13 finale by arguing that the curse was a fabrication to terrify locals. They dismantled the curse by solving the water trap system instead of triggering it. The required death was the death of the mystery itself, which allows the show to end on a high note, without a tragedy. We possess a major spoiler for the Season 13 finale, expected to air in late April 2026. The leaked production notes describe a final scene where Rick, Marty, and Dan Henske stand at a new excavation site near the swamp, holding an object wrapped in archival cloth. The notes describe the object as a stone tablet that fits into the indentation found on the 90-foot stone replica. The insider claims the season ends on a cliffhanger about what the text says, rather than if they found it. This confirms they have breached the primary containment and are currently cataloging the treasure. The hunt effectively ended in December 2025, after 230 years. The impact of these leaks changes the history books. Finding a Templar or Portuguese archive on Nova Scotia soil dating back to the 1500s proves that European contact with North America was extensive. This means secret societies, deliberately hiding assets, wrote the history of the New World, rather than explorers stumbling upon land. This changes the viewing experience of the remaining Season 13 episodes, because we are watching a documentation of a discovery that has already happened. The show will likely shift in Season 14 from a treasure hunt to an archaeological recovery series. The financial implications are large because the treasure trove law in Nova Scotia dictates a specific split. The Laginas might not keep a single coin if the artifacts are religious or cultural heritage items. Their reward will be the legacy rather than the liquidity, which explains the somber tone in the leaked audio. We are witnessing the transition of Oak Island from a reality TV spectacle to a candidate for a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The mystery that has confused the world for 2 centuries is unraveling right in front of us, with an ending far more complex than a simple chest of gold. Make sure you are subscribed if you want to stay ahead of the news as Season 13 concludes.